I'm attempting to beat every GTA game without committing crime, so following GTA 4 and The Lost and Damned, next up is... which of course follows Gay Tony's assistant Luis Lopez. I've already done this for a few GTA games, I'm using the same rules, no wanted stars, no crimes, no glitches. Jumping right into the Liberty City heist, who could be responsible for this? Not him. Luis had to let his boss Tony know about the bank, and when I went to meet him, I also met Vince and Rocco, who Tony owed money to. Rocco was a dick, but I knew in the next game he would get his karma. I took Tony to one of his clubs, and I had to take a few shots. And somehow, I wasn't the most drunk person here. I mean, really, what is she doing here? Luis's friends showed up, and I drove them home before driving back to Luis's apartment. I officially beat the first mission, only to find out that this game has mission objectives. How did I even get 22% player damage? Oh yeah. Tony still owed Rocco money, so I had to go play golf with him. And I got to ride this cool golf cart while the people chasing me just spontaneously burst into flames. But sadly, this golf cart didn't save in my parking spot. I soon got introduced to Brucey's brother, Maury, who is a complete jerk, but Tony also owed him money, so I had to spend time with him.
You ain't exactly packing a 10-inch hose, man.
No, but I'm packing this. And we headed down to the docks to steal from some drug dealers who didn't take it so well. We had to chase after them on a boat, which counted as stolen, and I took them all out. I went to see Luis's mom, who was indebted to a loan shark, and this DLC needs a new name, because why am I just helping everyone else pay off their debts? I had to fight to earn money, and I took a dive like an NPC. My boys Enrique and Armando came by later, and they called Tony my sugar daddy.
He's like the daddy I never had. Sugar daddy!
Which was ironic because he was broke. Lester's still the real sugar daddy. I went to help them with the deal and witnessed this cop car randomly flip over, which shocked me so much that I hit another cop car and had to redo the mission. But then this other cop car swerved, so I had yet another redo. Also, this car just fell out of the sky. Man, drivers in this game are insane.
Yo man, chill out!
And obviously for this business deal to smooth out some details, I needed plenty of guns. Of course, cops showed up and I had 3 wanted stars, but upon looking at my stats, I actually had none attained, even when shooting my way through them. Eventually, a helicopter showed up and I had to shoot it down, but this gave me 2 fires started. I replayed it a few more times to try avoiding this, but was unable to do so and accepted it. So I actually didn't track fires started after a certain point because, well, this is about wanted stars attained, and ignoring that stat made this game much more fun. Armando and Enrique had another mission for me involving picking up a shipment where we got ambushed and had to take the other guys out with no issues. Back at the club, I saw Roman and Brucey very successfully picking up women, and I met Yusuf Amir, who mentioned franchising the club. Tony and I were set to make a business deal for Rocco, and we had a Billy cameo showing him setting up Johnny right before our deal.
You are not going anywhere until we have fun.
Rock, paper, scissors.
The business deal fell through and we had to shoot our way out, but again, had no issues. Tony called to complain for not helping with the clubs enough, even though I literally just helped him out on a mission, so I went back to Tony, said hi to his boyfriend, got some information for the next mission, and said goodbye. This time, I needed to take care of some union workers for Rocco in a 3-part mission, which could probably also be classified as terrorism, but this is just another day for the citizens of Liberty City. I got a bunch of sticky bombs, and the first thing was to blow up this crane, and the window cleaner nearby was very unbothered. Never liked that crane anyway. The crane gave me no issues, and next up was blowing up a subway train, which also gave me no issues. Okay, not true, this gap to jump onto the train tracks was pretty slim, so I actually messed this up quite a few times. The third target was in a plane in the airport, which was extremely problematic because just going onto the tarmac immediately gave me 4 wanted stars. To blow up the plane, I had several options, but mostly it was down to using sticky bombs or an RPG. Unfortunately, every single attempt at blowing this thing up got me wanted. If I threw sticky bombs at it, I needed to go onto the runway and would get wanted immediately. If I shot an RPG at it, every location I shot from gave me an instant wanted level. I tried launching a car at the plane and backing off to an area where I wouldn't get instantly wanted, and I even went and did other missions so I could get a buzzard and shoot missiles at it from outside of the tarmac. Presumably, shooting from outside of the runway would at least not make my wanted level 4 stars, but it seemed like no matter what, after the cutscene of the plane exploding, I found myself with 4 forced wanted stars, all of which were added to my stats. Major L for the challenge, but I continued anyway. I felt discouraged after all that suffering to still gain 4 wanted stars, but going back to Tony, I drove him and his friend Gracie Ancelotti to her house. Wait, I think I remember that car. I got another Roman cameo, and Luis, being a gentleman, was kind enough to take this girl to the bathroom to exchange numbers and probably some diseases, but nothing a quick stop at the Liberty City Health Center wouldn't fix. I got introduced to Ray Bulgarian in the club before going off to do another chore for Rocco and rizzing up this other nightclub owner's girl. Things came to a head when this guy walked in on Luis, getting, ready for the next mission. And man, this guy is speedrunning catching every STD. Come on, Luis. I had to shoot my way out, and the police showed up, but didn't follow me, so I got out clean. Meanwhile, Tony was having a good time in his apartment with his friends before we went off with his boyfriend Evan to buy some diamonds. The diamonds. Immediately, this went south and I had to blow up a bunch of Lost, but this ended up being one of the most fun missions in the game. Even though a police blockade got set up and I had a 3-star wanted level during this chase, I had no stars attained, even though I later evaded these. I played this mission in the last DLC, so I already knew Johnny would steal the diamonds. Oh, and Tony was upset to find that Evan died, but Luis was able to comfort him.
Poor Evan. He may have cheated on me, stolen from me, put his plastic surgery on the business credit card, but I like the guy. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
I continued with some Yusuf Amir missions.
Hey, man! Hey!
And, let's just say the characters in this game speak like they're in a 360 era Call of Duty lobby.
You're way out of your league, kid. You're a f***ing loser hanging out with children.
You're all dead. You and your family and the
You wanted to kill me.
moron!
You.
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
So first I had to steal a helicopter and blow up a ship, which was extremely fun. However, I somehow kept getting the people run down stat messed up despite being far above any people and in a helicopter. Okay, this guy's an exception. Oh, and also every time I replayed this mission, I had to swim all the way out to the yacht since the game wanted me to steal a boat to get there. But still, it seemed like once again I had a stat I couldn't avoid messing up. I eventually discovered that if I used only missiles and no machine guns, I could take out the big ship and the smaller boats to beat this mission with no stars and no people run down. Yusuf had me go to a deal with his buddies on top of the Rotterdam Tower, and I got an instant 4 wanted stars for my harmless joke. Well, mostly harmless. But these didn't affect my stats, so even while shooting cops with exploding ammo, I was safe. I gleefully shot my way through and made it to the top to confront Ahmed, who very stupidly gave me his parachute before taking a tumble so I could have a softer landing than this. Okay, I forgot how to open the parachute. I made it to the ground, and my wanted level just instantly disappeared. No stars attained or evaded, just gone. This blogger, the Celebinator, was spreading rumors about Tony and I, so we took him for a free helicopter tour, and after some slaps, I got to take him back to the ground. We landed on Happiness Island, and how did this random person have groceries? Where are you getting a baguette? This island literally just has a big statue and 1 hot dog stand. I swam back to Algonquin and managed to start beef with this random guy in the docks outside of the police vision. I found out the bouncer at one of the clubs was going to replace my icon Manny and have a show made about him, which I really didn't care about because now it was time to steal back my diamonds. After 2 missions in this museum with no wanted level, I immediately found myself with 4 wanted stars after this cutscene, which were instantly added to my stats. There was literally no way around this, and I couldn't just skip the mission, so that gave me 4 wanted stars. But I did at least get some revenge on the cops when I got to shoot their helicopters down. Meanwhile, Tony's girl Gracie was kidnapped, so we had to track Gracie's kidnapper in a helicopter. I went to see Yusuf, who, like the mission name, was caught with his pants down. His dad showed up, so I left and we met in Junction Square, where I had to pilot his helicopter. Okay, and what do I even do here? Our goal this time was to steal a tank from Noose, and I had to awkwardly snipe it off these cables, which immediately got me 2 wanted stars. But these were actually fine and disappeared when the tank fell. I had to parachute down to reach it, and once I entered the tank, I had 4 wanted stars that did add to my stats. I did still struggle a bit to minimize my other stats during this, as I kept running people over, but it was fun to just destroy everything in my way. I also realized that after escaping the cops and checking my stats, my number of stars attained went up by more than 4 to 14 stars, instead of the 12 it should have been. I was confused, but then realized this was similar to a mission in the main game, where evading the cops instantly added 2 wanted stars. This mission was basically on a timer that slowly lowered the wanted level, so I had to stay within the wanted area until it went down to 1 star, and then I could escape. I had to do some work for Ray Bulgarian, and of course this involved taking on Noose, but shooting them actually didn't get me wanted. Next, I had to assassinate some guy, and after passing some awful drivers, I got to do one of the most badass missions in the game. First, I parachuted into this building, fought my way to this guy I had to take out, and finally parachuted out to this truck. Ray asked me about the diamonds from earlier and then sent me to watch over a deal, which I quickly found out was an ambush since the diamonds were originally stolen from Ray. And in another mission where someone gave Luis head, I had to fight my way off this roof and these guys kept launching grenades directly at me, but luckily I managed to escape Ray's men. In another mission with Yusuf, he asked me to steal yet another thing for him. What cake should I subscribe to, Yusuf?
Epic, homie. This is epic.
This time, I had to steal a subway car and shoot the police following me, and once again, I had 4 wanted stars, which eventually went up to 5, but these didn't actually add to my stats, so I went and replayed the mission to be sure, but I also replayed because I ran into this helicopter and died. Either way, no wanted stars. Later, Ray Bulgarian called to threaten me, and Luis did not care at all.
You and your boss will be killed for this. I will do everything in my power.
I forgot about Maury from earlier, but Tony owed him money too, so I bet all or nothing on a race, and obviously won it with ease, but the lack of shooting was kinda boring. In the next mission, I had to steal some cars with Maury, and Brucey came along too, but Maury annoyed me so much I couldn't take it anymore, but also the car got stuck. The game had an infinite loading glitch here, so I had to redo the mission, and oh boy, this would be a fun one. After stealing a few cars, the cops were on us with 3 stars, but these didn't add to my stats. Thanks, Maury, for calling the cops. Should have named him Moron instead. After racing on some narrow tracks, we made it to the car drop-off, and Brucey finally stood up to Maury, but the mission ended with another infinite loading screen. I played it again, but it still glitched. Yeah, I feel that too. Apparently this mission is glitchy, and after replaying it, I tried multiple things, like lowering the settings to the minimum, messing with the resolution, but come on, this flip was still sick at 800p. And even contemplating using a mod or a skip, even though I set out to do this challenge with no mods. Eventually, the thing that worked was manually adding a file called commandline.txt with these lines. It worked, and I didn't question it. I came back to the club and let in Roman and Brucey, who was so thankful he even tried to kiss the homies goodnight. Hey, where my kiss at? And soon, Tony and I went to trade our diamonds for Gracie and Chilati. There wasn't much to this mission outside driving a boat, which added 2 to my stolen boat stat, even though this was literally our boat. Following this, I met Rocco in Middle Park, and he told me I had to kill Tony to make Ray Bulgarian happy.
What you doing here?
I think I pissed him. Now, on top of all that, the old man pissed. Whatever, it don't matter. The Russian said he wants to piss of anyone involved with the diamonds.
So I returned to the club and instead shot Rocco's Uncle Vince.
Moron!
No, I already made that joke. And doing this meant I had to fight a bunch of Ray's goons coming into the club. I knew Tony and I wouldn't be safe unless we took out Ray, who was in Funland. Ah, the textures in this game are beautiful. I destroyed all of these drug vans Ray was holding to ruin his income, but I found out he was getting on a plane and I actually needed to go to the airport. Thanks to Yusuf's help with taking out some of Ray's guys on the way, my bike caught fire and the back tire burnt out, so I missed the plane. But then, after redoing it, I caught the plane to execute Ray.
I have grenade. You kill me, we all die.
And in an insane ending, I parachuted down to meet Tony, and somehow this random homeless dude ended up with the diamonds, but hey, good for him. Tony and I made amends, Yusuf offered to franchise the clubs, and we finally finished with the entire GTA 4 trilogy, with a grand total for this DLC of 12 wanted stars attained. And here's what the rest of my stats looked like. I hope you guys enjoyed. I do plan on doing this for San Andreas, Vice City, and GTA 3 soon, so subscribe to Epic Cakes Gaming if you want to catch those, and I'll see you guys in the next one.